Unexpected incidents can occur at any moment and any place, especially while driving roads are always unpredictable. In this case, having a dash cam inside your car might be able to save your day, just in case you come across any of the surprising moments. So if you're looking forward to getting one for your car, then check out this comparison video between two of the best dash cams. Torvo TD3 versus Redtiger F7NT. Let's get into it right away. When we first get our hands on these two dash cams, the difference in feel is pretty clear. The Torvo TD3 gives off a simple vibe. It's lightweight, and the 4K front camera looks promising for the price. Although the rear camera feels quite basic at first, we'll see how it performs once we test it. Now, the Redtiger F7NT is a different story. Right away, it gives off that sleek, modern vibe. The touchscreen is smooth. And as you can see, the whole thing feels premium in our hands, which is obvious as it costs more than the other one. But hey, these are just first impressions. Next, we'll break down the features, performance, and everything else. Now, out of the box, both these dash cams come with more or less everything to get started with. Inside the Torvo box, the main unit felt solid and nicely balanced in hand, with buttons placed just under the screen that clicked easily without being too stiff. In another compartment sat the rear camera, paired with a cable long enough to work for most vehicles. Alongside that came the power cable for the cigarette lighter port, an electrostatic sticker, the user manual, and even a 64GB memory card already included. A welcome touch at this price. Like many dash cams, unlocking all the features required a hardwire setup. So we picked up the kit separately, which came with a long cable and a pry tool. Nothing out of the ordinary here, and honestly, at this price, asking for more would be pushing it. If you want full 24-hour parking coverage, the hardwire kit is just $15 extra. Now, when we crack open the box for the Redtiger, we're going to see most of the same stuff we already saw with the Torvo. So the main camera unit, a Type-C power cable, the user manual, a 128GB SD card, as we bought the Redtiger extended pack, the rear camera with its really long run of cable, and a set of adhesive pads. Pretty standard. Where it does change a little bit is with the mounting system. Redtiger actually gives you a suction mount right in the box, and they also toss in a pry tool for the install. With the Torvo, that pry tool only shows up if you grab the hardwire kit. So yeah, beyond that little difference in what comes included, everything else here is pretty much identical between the two. Oh, another thing, in comparison with Torvo's hardwire kit, Redtiger's parking pack costs about $300, with a bundled hardwire kit and an 18 months of extended warranty, which kind of felt a bit much to us. Setup on both felt straightforward. Simply put, just mount behind the rear view, run the rear wire along the headliner, tuck the cables, and you're done. Redtiger's suction cup does speed up removal, but for long-term stability, Torvo's adhesive mount holds stronger in heat. Redtiger's big highlight is that 3.18-inch touchscreen. It's snappy, easy to swipe through menus, and makes it simple to change settings without fiddling with buttons. Voice control also comes with it. You can say commands like show front camera or turn off screen. Now, it sounds cool, but from our experience with dash cams, voice control is more of a party trick than a daily tool. You'll use it once or twice, but sooner or later, you'll end up navigating through the screen or the app like always. Torvo takes a different path here. Instead of a touch screen, we got a 3.2-inch IPS screen with physical buttons beneath it. It might sound old school, but the menus are straightforward, and the button presses feel tactile. Not too stiff, not too mushy. Honestly, we actually like the reliability here. When you're bouncing on rough roads or just want to lock a clip fast, physical buttons make sure the input registers, no hesitation. And of course, in this budget range, expecting a touchscreen or voice control won't be very practical. Another point we noticed is Redtiger houses its GPS in the mount, which means if you want accurate speed and location logs, you're relying on that mount. But interestingly, Torvo builds GPS directly into the camera itself. So, here you won't have to depend on anything or worry about the risk of swapping mounts and losing GPS data. Now, let's really break down the video quality because that's what most people are going to care about here. Both cameras are branded as 4K dash cams, but the way they achieve it and how the footage looks in real-world use doesn't exactly line up the same. Starting with Redtiger, the F7NT Touch runs Sony's new Starvis 2IMX675 sensor up front. It records at 4K 30 FPS with HDR, and yeah, the image looks sharp. During the day, you can freeze frame and make out road signs, traffic lights, and plates from a fair distance. HDR kicks in nicely when you're transitioning under bridges or moving between bright sunlight and shadows. At night, it keeps license plates visible under street lamps, though the rear 1080p camera isn't nearly as crisp in the dark. Still, this sensor is what you're paying for. You're buying into that Starvis 2 clarity, but you're also doubling or tripling your spend compared to Torvo. Now, Torvo TD3 doesn't bring in a Sony sensor at this price. Instead, you're looking at a non-Sony unit, but it records true 4K at 30 FPS with WDR always active. And honestly, it surprised us. Daytime video looks clean with natural colors, not overly processed, and plates stay sharp even when the car is half a block away. The 170-degree front lens covers the whole lane, plus sidewalks without bending the image at the edges, something cheaper wide-angle cams are guilty of. At night, Torvo leans on its Starlight night vision system. Under streetlights, it keeps plates readable and headlights balanced, so you're not blinded by overexposure. In pitch-black areas, yes, there's some grain, but the footage is still usable. For an entry-level cam, that's rare. Let's talk about rear cameras. Both systems ship with 1080p units covering roughly 140 degrees. Redtiger's rear looks good in daylight, but under low light it loses detail fast. Plates smear more than we'd like. Torvo's rear cam, while also full HD, actually looks sharper than what we expect in this bracket. It keeps plates readable under headlights and doesn't drown out in shadow as badly as other budget rear cams we've tested. That's not something we say often about budget dual-channel kits. Where Redtiger has a slight edge is HDR flexibility. It handles contrast shifts really smoothly, especially with bright sunlight and tunnel exits. Now, of course, WDR and HDR won't be the same, so you'll get a better transition with Redtiger without any doubt. But even without HDR toggles, its WDR implementation on Torvo works consistently. Parking protection is one of the big selling points for both of these cams. With Redtiger, the F7NT Touch supports parking monitoring. Now, of course, for this feature, you'll need to go for their parking pack with the dedicated hardwire kit. The hardwiring procedure for both these cameras are the same as any other dash cams. Once properly wired, it can record on motion or impact detection. The system works perfectly, but remember, the parking pack with the kit and warranty upgrade pushes the cost up to $300. For us, that felt like a pretty steep jump just to enable a feature most of us consider essential. Torvo TD3 also needs to be hardwired for the 24/7 coverage, but we think here's where it pulls ahead on value. Their hardwire kit is just $15, and it already includes the long fuse tap cable plus a pry tool for install. Once hooked up, the TD3's 24-hour monitoring triggers on both motion and impacts, front and rear. It locks short clips when someone walks by or bumps your car. We dialed the G sensor sensitivity down to medium to avoid potholes triggering it while driving. And with that, it caught everything important without flooding the card with junk. Both of these dash cams rely on a supercapacitor instead of a lithium battery. That means they both can handle summer heat a lot better and keep long-term reliability in check. For truckers or anyone parking outdoors, that's actually a peace of mind. Both dash cams lean on their apps to give you quicker access to files and settings, but the way they go about it feels different. Redtiger's app pairs over Wi-Fi, and once connected, you can view live video, download clips, and check GPS routes. The touchscreen itself is already pretty friendly, so the app ends up being more of a convenience tool for transferring files to your phone. Downloads are smooth, and the included 128GB card gives you plenty of space before looping kicks in. Where it loses some ground, though, is flexibility. The GPS being tied to the mount means if you ever swap or replace it, your logging goes with it. Torvo's VGER app connects over 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and the live feed shows up without noticeable delay. We liked the way clips are organized. Thumbnails with timestamps in neat 30-second chunks, so scrolling through footage doesn't feel like digging for a needle. Pulling clips to the phone is quick, and settings like loop length, GPS stamping, G-sensor sensitivity, and resolution can all be tweaked right there in the app. There's no cloud storage option, but in a way that keeps things simpler, everything stays local and secure, and you're not relying on a subscription or internet signal. On the usability side, Redtiger's touchscreen felt quite responsive. The voice control, commands. We found us and most other drivers ended up turning it off. It sounds handy, but after a week of false triggers or simply forgetting the commands, you'll be back to using the touchscreen or app. In contrast, Torvo's button interface paired with the app is old school but consistent. You press, it works. For long-term reliability, we'd take consistency over voice gimmicks every time. So, which one should you get? It really comes down to what matters most to you. Torvo TD3 comes in at under $100 with a 64GB card already included. It gives you sharp daytime clarity 4K at 30 FPS with wide dynamic range, solid rear camera, and starlight night vision that brings out usable nighttime footage. Parking mode works reliably with their $15 hardwire kit, and since it uses a supercapacitor, it's built to survive heat better than lithium-powered budget cams. The GPS is built in, so you're not depending on accessories, and the app feels polished for quick access. On the other hand, if you're chasing the latest sensor tech and HDR, Redtiger's Starvis 2 front cam does bring in more detail, especially in tough lighting. The touchscreen is smooth, the app works, and voice control is there if you like extras. On sale, you can grab it for about $180. But at $230 retail or $300 if you want proper parking mode with the hardwire kit, you're paying a premium. And while the footage is good, you're still looking at a 1080p rear cam and a GPS system that's dependent on the mount. At the end of the day, if the Starvis 2 sensor is a must-have, Redtiger gives you that option, but you'll be spending double or even triple. For everyone else, Torvo hits a sweet spot. Affordable, reliable, and feature-complete, making it one of the best budget dual-channel 4K dash cams you can pick up right now. So, that's a wrap on today's comparison. Which one would you love to choose? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.